Okay, cool. So now that we've kind of discussed the kind of main movement tools, what I want to do is I want to create a little kind of city with the movement tools that we've got. So we're going to be orbiting around our kind of 3D scene. We're going to be like this. We're going to be creating planes, and planes is in a 2D plane, like a flat piece of geometry, and objects like cubes in order to create kind of pavements and buildings. So if I go up to the top, remember if anything goes wrong and you scroll down as you hovered over it, you just scroll back up and then it'll come back. So I want to create a plane, and then when we're in the plane, it'll come in really, really small. Mine is set to centimeters by default. So this is meant to be 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter in the middle. So if I move this over here, as you can tell, this grid is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. So it's we're really tiny in just for now. We're not going to bother about scale, but that is something to consider in the future. So if I just scale this up to the same size as I'm just going to Control Z just to put it back in 0, 0, 0, as you can see up here. This is the channel box. Remember where all our information about the kind of object is. We can change the kind of 3D position. Oh, wrong key. Move that over. So it's like that's 10 centimeters away forward in X. So to the right, essentially, if you were kind of facing it front off. Put that back. So now if I scale it up, I can move it up because it's 2D. So you see all these kind of axes are changing. So this is 20 centimeters kind of over. So I'm just going to change it to 20. Oh, that's 200. 20. And now it's a little bit skew width in one axis. So I'm just going to go back to 20. It's actually a bit shy. So we can go back up. It's actually apparently 25 centimeters or 24. Let's check. 24, will that do? Yep. Okay, yep. So the grid is 24 centimeters by 24 centimeters. It's really, really handy to know. So it's just under, think of like a centimeter ruler. No, sorry, a 30 centimeter ruler. It's just a bit smaller. So there's our kind of scale reference for this box. So now what I want to do is I want to make some cubes, and I can move this over in 3D space by pressing W, which is our movement tools. Remember, W is our movement, E is our rotate, R is our scale. So I'm going to move it over, and then I'm going to press R, and then move the blue one. The blue one is going to be forward and back to be the same size as the floor. And I don't want this to be going through. I'm going to say the correct terminology or the correct wording is when something's going through something, it's called intersecting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it the correct size and the correct kind of height, and then I'm going to stop it from intersecting by lifting it up, kind of like I did with the donut just a previous minute ago. It's probably a bit small, so I'm just going to move it over and then make it a bit wider. Move it over, make it a bit wider, and put it down a little bit. Awesome. So I'm okay with it intersecting a little bit. Um, so yeah, there we go. Nice. So now what I'm going to do is if I press Control D, so Control on the keyboard, and then press D, if you look in the outliner, it's made another one, and it's made it a duplicate, so Control Duplicate, Control D, and I can move it over. And now we have kind of almost a road going on, which is really, really handy. So now that we've got this road going on, what we can do, and the pavement, what we can do is we can now start to think about adding some buildings towards it. So if I press not control, if I go to cube in the top left, that'll create a new cube in the middle. Just gotta press W again, make sure that we're in this movement tool. If nothing's here when you click it, it might be because you've pressed, oh, you might be selected off it, but you want to click your object and make sure you've pressed, if you press Q, it'll deselect everything, and it just goes back to our like cursor selection tool. This is really, really handy when everything's really busy. So you see how we've got like the grid, and then we've got this cube, and then we've got a plane on top, and these two pieces of geometry. It can get really messy, and then if this is here, and we're like, no, I just want to click the floor. Well, I can do it, but like maybe I click here and I'm like, oh, why am I not clicking the cube now? Press Q, click the cube. Now we're back in action. So I just want to move it back in X. So you see the kind of X axis here. Move it back and then make it bigger. And if I lift it up, now we have the start of a building. And since we're on the computer, we can use shortcuts and kind of be a bit lazy. So if we press Control D, we can duplicate it, pull it up in the air, press R or use the scale button, whatever's easy for you. And then we can scale it up in the y-axis, so this green one. If we orbit around, kind of make sure our perspective's correct, we can move it back. I'm going to press Control D again, move it over, scale it down. So right now, we're quickly kind of laying out a building, which is really, really handy. Gotta do the same. Push it back, in, back over. This is really, really handy, because look, I've very quickly gotten the majority of my kind of street kind of all laid out. We can do multiple selections, just like how you would in this kind of list. If you click an object and hold Shift and then click another one, we can add to that selection list or add to our selection. Really, really handy, just how you would with another program, any other program like Photoshop. If you wanted to click multiple layers, and if you didn't know, in Photoshop you can click multiple layers by holding Shift. So both the information is for both. I just want to make sure that we're kind of sat on the ground. So I am intersecting a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay for now. So what I want to do now is, I think if you can kind of guess, if we press Control D when we've selected all these, we can just move them over, and then we have the other side of the road kind of done. So very quickly we went from a plane to a curb to some kind of 3D geometry as acting as buildings. So now we could like move our kind of perspective down here, and then we have like a street, which is really, really handy because then we can think about like maybe we wanted to block out like our kind of level. So we very quickly kind of got something going and an idea started. So I just want to be a bit more organized now. So if we click all our objects, we can double click one. Oh, click on all our objects. Double click one, so I know from there to there is the correct one. Double click it, okay. Oh, you've changed up there. I remember now. So if we press this, go to this one, nope, this one. Awesome. Click this button, go to rename. There's a lot of rename tool in here. I forgot what that was. And then in here, we just type in house. And then everything would get changed here. Alternatively, we could just click one, name it house. House underscore, house 001. And then we go house 002. Go next. House 003. House 004. House, oops. I didn't put enough zeros in that one. Kind of just want to do it so the outline is all consistent. Then we go here, house 005. Oh, 5. And then same again for these guys, but I'm just gonna use this kind of naming tool up here just to make my life a bit easier. House 006. And then the naming tool kind of adds on to us, so it's really, really handy. Really, really nice. So we've got this naming tool up here, which will be kind of hidden. You can open it up again. It'll be look like this. You want to click this little icon, go to rename, and then you just click your selection, and then change it up here. So we can go like wood, and it'll change it all to wood 0 to 1. Yeah, I'm just gonna go house 0 001. and then it'll continue to it. Technically, it's already existed, so it'll just change it. So you could change it by hand, so it's back to the order that you wanted, but overall, I don't mind. So we could change this to curb 001. So I'm just organizing my outliner now, and then we'll move on to the next stage. Uh, road is what it is at this point. And then what we can do is we can actually organize this a bit more. So if we click, say, our houses, and then we shift click and then click once, and then, so we'll do that again. Yep. Or you could go the other way. And you press Control G. What that'll do is add them to a group. So now we can click them all individually, but they're the existing kind of like a folder system. This is really handy to keep in our outliner, kind of more tidy, because as you can see, you can imagine this to be like thousands of objects or hundreds of objects, and then you can just put them in a group. Like imagine if you're making like a car or something like that. You're like, think about the car engine parts, think about like all the windows and glass bits and just any bits of details, which is a separate subject, which is a separate object. It's really handy to group things. So in this, we can just call this houses. You could be more organized than me. You could have like one group for these houses and another group for these houses. We can. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to group the rest of it to be like, put them all together. So from the top to the bottom, Control G, and then this can be road or street. So now we have we got our street, which we've done really quickly. So we've got our road, everything's named, it's all nice. So we can do streets, and then the correct thing is to put an underscore and then put in capital letters GRP. That stands for group. Group. That's the naming convention. You guys don't need to do that, but I thought it was important for you to know, because if you do ever see someone else's file from like a professional or someone from the internet, might be, or it might be lowercase like GRP, like that. So now that since we've been organized, what we can do is we could like duplicate this group and then move it, and then we very quickly have like two sets of streets. So we're just working in this kind of organized fashion. We can kind of move and rotate and create like our own alternative kind of streets. So there we go. So now we look down here, we have our street just kind of already done and ready to go, which is really helpful. So that's kind of what I wanted to get into today, um, for now, in terms of layout and organizing and understanding how to move objects in X, Y, and Z, explain the Maya user face and what's kind of helpful. So for now, that's where we're going. Cool, well done.